what I love about this, every series that we do, there's 2 or 3 of them that really get to me. And it's not necessarily the winner either. I mean, Lois, what a fantastic achievement to win. It was incredible, and what an achievement. But there was a couple of others, and John was one of them up here with the Dennis Waterman haircut. Lovely John. And here's the thing. When he got to the final, he was in the final, and I even said to him, John, what are you doing in the final? You were shite in the beginning. And he'd learnt, and he'd adapted, and he'd learnt about the clay and the way he worked with the clay every single week just to keep himself in. And he'd learnt, he'd taken on board what Rich and I had said to him, and he'd gone away and he thought about it, and he pushed that envelope, and he pushed his own personal boundaries, and he learnt more about himself and more about the clay and the craft. And it was just, it's inspiring. It really is. It's amazing. And it gets me every time. And I just love that. It's wonderful. You don't have to win. You just have to learn something from the whole experience. And it is a unique experience. And there's certain things that have really been quite powerful. I mean, who remembers Christine's self-sculpture? Do you remember that? That, yeah. Series 5, I think it was. And none of us knew that she was going to do that. And as the show, the format is, we don't put labels on, I've suffered from this, and I had a bad child. We don't hang medals on people for their lives. We've all had challenging life stories. But we gave them this challenge, and she felt safe enough and brave enough to give us this piece of work that emulated her struggle through breast cancer and her bravery and courage, as thousands of women go through it all the time. And she'd emulated that and given us that message in what she'd made. And this is, again, the wonderful thing about creativity. It can tell 1,000 words. And it can even make you feel different when you see something, when you see a painting, or you see something like this. And I remember, I think she got Potter of the Week that week. And we were all exhausted. I mean, obviously I was crying, goes without saying. But everyone the cameramen were crying, the sound crew were crying. It was really, really emotional. Incredible work. And I remember being there at the end of the day, and everyone was exhausted, and I'm in the studio looking at this piece, and there was only one other guy in there, a cameraman called Adrian. Now, Adrian is our jib man. Now, the jib is the long arm thing, and it takes these wonderful pictures of overhead of the wheel. So the 7th series, when we film the 7th series, and you see those shots, that'll be Adrian. He's our jib man, yeah. And he came over to me, and he went, mate, we've got the BAFTA in the bag. That's the BAFTA. We didn't fucking get the BAFTA, but anyway. But it's brilliant. It's wonderful. And so, and I love telling this story because it's such a powerful thing, and it's so sublime. And let's go from sublime to the ridiculous. Who remembers Derek's ferret? I love it. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's the best failure we've ever had on the show. I even had nightmares at the hotel. Derek's ferret was bollards down the M1. Yeah, it was really weird. And what I love about it is that it wasn't quite what we were looking for that particular week, but it's just so expressive. It's so funny. And Derek, we all had a laugh about it, because that's the other thing. We don't laugh at, we laugh with. And Derek knew that his number was up that week. But what a way to go out. It's absolutely brilliant. I think it even stuck to the kiln shelf as well. It's just wonderful. And that's what the program sort of brings up and throws out at us. It's brilliant. Wonderful.